Hello, my name is Chloe and I am coming to you today to let you know what books I plan to read for the month of August. So this is essentially a to be read pile that I have, and I've probably got way too many books that I need to read, but I'm narrowing it down to just a couple for the month of August to make sure that I stick to my schedule and read the books that I really want to read, which is the majority of my books. So I'm really narrowing it down here. So I wanted to share that with you and see what you thought about that, and I also want to know what your TBR books are for this month. Let's get started. So the first book that I have on my TBR for this month is The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson. Now this is the second book in the Remnant Chronicles. The first book is called The Kiss of Deception. I do have a book review and book talk on that book, and I will link it in the doodad below so that you can go have a look if you're interested. If you have read the first book, this book has come out very recently and I am so excited to read it because I absolutely love the first book. It's quite a fantasy book. A princess ran away from an arranged marriage, but she was like stalked by some people, and you'll have to read the first book to see if they found her. I don't want to give anything away, but it's an amazing story, beautifully written. The characters are so well developed, and they're just magical. And what I like about this book is that it does like more than one point of view. Really it's done very well, like in a way that it's really readable, it flows, and it's just interesting. Sometimes I don't really like dual point of views, and this is actually more than two. There's I think 3 points of views in here, but it's done very well and I really enjoyed it, and I am so psyched to be reading this month. So this is the first book I'm going to be picking up, absolutely. The second book I'm going to be reading in August is Be With Me by Jennifer L. Armentrout, writing under the pen name of J. Lynn. Now this is the second book in the Wait For You series. I have just recently read Wait For You in the month of July and I absolutely loved it. I love everything Jennifer L. Armentrout brings to me on paper. She's a fabulous author. She writes such great stories there. The way she writes is really, there's so much humor in it, and sarcasm and wittiness and banter. The sexual tension that she's able to build up in her new adult novels as well is just, it's a work of art. It's fantastic and I really love all of her books. I really like the first book, Wait For You, so I'm excited to pick up Be With Me. I really want to read this. I know that there's lots of other books in the Wait For You series, so I'm just, it's like a short book and it's like a contemporary romance new adult novel, so they're quite easy to read. I enjoy reading contemporary romance like after I read a really high fantasy novel or something like that, just to kind of break it up and just kind of read something a little bit different. So I am going to be reading this in the month of August also. Well, I hope to. I plan to. The next book that I'm going to read in August is one that I've been anticipating for a very long time. Now, Susan E., she brought out the Penguin and the End of Days series. The first book is called Angel Fall, the second book is World After, and the third book is the one that I'm going to be reading in August, which is End of Days, and that is by Susan E., and it is absolutely beautiful series, like really awesome. Angels are like the bad guys, and it's done really super well. I know that there's some of that going on in like Supernatural. I haven't watched that, don't kill me, but I really enjoy this. I found it really original. The story, I found it was really original and I just really enjoyed it. The characters are great. I did take a bit longer than normal to get into the first book, but once I powered on through, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, it was really very good. I would probably give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. World After was even better, and I'm so excited to read End of Days, the final installment in the trilogy. And I'll be sure to post a book review on this one because it's one of my most anticipated books that has come out this year, so I'm very excited to pick it up in August. Another book I plan to read in August is Stolen Songbird by Danielle L. Jensen. Now this will actually be a reread for me. I have read this one previously and I remember enjoying it, but I don't remember the story as much as I would hope. And seeing as the second book has just recently come out, I don't really want to jump into the second book when I don't very much remember the first book, but I remember feeling like it was a really powerful, magical story. I mean, it's debatable because it didn't really stick with me. My memory is failing me with all these other stories that I've been reading, so I do really just want to read this one again. I'm one of those people who I can watch TV series and movies over and over again, and it's the same with books. I can read books over and over again and enjoy them thoroughly each and every time. Now, I do remember kind of what it's about. This story is actually about it's like trolls are the bad guys. Like trolls, they used to exist in this world, however they believed to be extinct hundreds and hundreds of years ago, but in reality the trolls have actually just been trapped in an underground palace by some evil magical witch, and they've been living under there for the hundreds and hundreds of years since the people have thought that they've been extinct, and there's a spell that needs to be broken in order for them to be released into the real world. Now trolls, they're very powerful, they're very magical, so that is why the witch trapped them there. The main character is Cecile, who is the stolen songbird on the cover here. How beautiful is that though? It's all like green and magical and mystical. But anyway, Cecile, she is kidnapped from her home and she's brought into the magical underground place of Trellis, which is where the trolls live, because there's a prophecy that states that she is going to be the person that will break the spell if she is married to the prince troll. Now trolls in this land, they don't look like the trolls are Frozen, for example, like little rock people. They just look exactly like us. They're just incredibly strong and incredibly powerful. So it's pretty cool, and the prince, I believe, is pretty hot from what I remember. So it was a really interesting read. Again, quite original to anything else that I've ever read. So I am looking forward to reading this again and getting stuck into the second book probably next month. But I would recommend it. Maybe you could read it in August too and read it with me, and then we can chat about it next month. Now I have one more book that I have put into my August to be read list, and that is Because of Low by Abby Glines. This is another kind of contemporary romance, new adult novel. It's small. I really like Abby Glines' work as well. It's just like a really easy read, and like I said before, I really love to just kind of pick up a contemporary novel and just kind of get stuck into it and read it in a day or two because it is so small. And I get really into like the relationship-y type novels because there's always some sort of conflict that needs to be overcome, and it's usually pretty interesting, so I really want to read it. I don't have a synopsis for you because I just haven't read the back yet, but it would hazard a guess at boy meets girl, girl or boy or both have some sort of conflict or problem or history that's going to stop them from being together, and they will overcome it with each other and live happily ever after. That is my prophecy. I will see if I'm right. Let's see. So those are my books that I plan to read in August. I do also have some ongoing reads that they're the big books that I probably will read over a span of 3 to 4 months, because not that I get sick of the books, but they're just so massive. The detail is so incredible, and sometimes the writing style is so intelligently written that it's quite exhausting even reading a chapter. My problem with the 2 books that I have as my ongoing reads as well, they have very large chapters, and sometimes I can find that so exhausting. I really love short chapters because it's so easy to just say, oh, just another chapter, because they're so short, it's fine, just another chapter. But with these books it's like, geez, when's the end of the chapter already? So I kind of require myself to take a break, even though both of these stories I love to death, and I am really enjoying them, and I'm still excited to continue reading them. So they're kind of like definitely in my August TBR, but it's kind of like August September TBR kind of smushed together. And the first one in my ongoing read is A Clash of Kings, so that's in the Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin. You will have heard of Game of Thrones, I'm sure. If you haven't, you have been living in a cave. But I am only like that far through. I only started this in July though, so I was reading this while I was in Fiji, and look, I love it. So far it's quite close to the TV series, which I absolutely adore, but I have heard that it starts to stray off from the books. The TV series does, so I'm not so much looking forward to seeing all the differences, but the story is just so amazing. It's complex, there's so many different characters and points of views and stories, betrayals, death, love, everything you can imagine is in Game of Thrones. It's just amazing. So that is my ongoing read. And the second book in my ongoing reads for August, September, however long it takes me, hopefully just this month, but that is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. I've just started recently watching the TV series and it's so amazing. I mean, they cast Jamie really well. Do you think they cast Jamie really well? Because holy crap, he is so sexy. Sexy Scottish man. So good, so good. So I am really enjoying this book. This is probably one of the hardest books I've ever read because the chapters are like insanely massive. So I just kind of take it a chapter at a time. But that being said, every time I do read a chapter, I'm like, man, this is good. I need to keep reading. So I just have to make myself read. I just have to get into it again and just hunker down. Like when I have a full day free, which is only sometimes on the weekends, but maybe I'll pick it up on my birthday because my birthday is this Sunday. So let's see, hopefully just put a full day towards it and make a bigger dent in it than I have been for a very long time. So that's also in my August TBR ongoing read. Yay! So there you have it. Those are the books that I plan to read in the month of August. Hopefully I get through them all. Probably not the ongoing reads, but they will be there. They will still be waiting for me probably in September. So let me know what books you plan to read in August. Let me know if you've read the books that I plan to read, but please no spoilers, except for Songbird, because I have read it before. It's a reread for me, but that's fine. So let me know if you like them. Let me know if you didn't like them. I would love to hear from you, and thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will catch you next time. Alright, bye! I just want to read this song. Read this song. Yes.